at Fully Charged, we are very lucky to have a fantastic audience who for many years have helped us fly the flag for going electric. And chatting to visitors at our live event earlier this year, it was amazingly encouraging to hear that many viewers were planning on getting an electric vehicle in the next 1, 2 or 3 years. But what if we could speed this up and get you driving a brand new electric vehicle right now? Well, today I'm joined by Thom Groot from the Electric Car Scheme, who have a solution that has the potential of getting more people in EVs sooner rather than later by using salary sacrifice. So Thom, the Electric Car Scheme sounds like a brilliant idea, but I'm really intrigued as what motivated you? Why did you start it?
We started the Electric Car Scheme mainly because we were really passionate about getting into electric cars and found this fantastic government benefit that allows you to do it through salary sacrifice at much lower cost. So when we tried to access that benefit, it was incredibly hard for us. We contacted the lease company and said, have you heard about this tax benefit? Can we set it up? And the first question we got was, well, have you got over 1,000 employees? And then the answer was no, we were a small business. And so they wouldn't talk to us. When we then fibbed about how many employees we had, we got served a price list that was 30% more expensive than the best lease on the market. And when we asked why, the lease company said, well, that's just our price list. We might be the best price on one car, 20, 30% more expensive on another. And then lastly, when you read the fine print in the T's and C's, say an employee were to leave, if they were to fall ill or go on maternity leave or resign, you're left as the company stuck with the car and potentially footing a heavy bill. So we set up
for a car that you're not using.
For a car that you're not using because your employee is left. So we set up the Electric Car Scheme to solve those three issues, make it really easy for any business, any size to access the government benefit, access the best leases in the market, and take away the risk from offering this as a benefit to your employees. So say you've only got 100 employees and you don't want to set up a complicated, large company corporate car scheme, the Electric Car Scheme is a great solution for you.
Right, and also, from what I can gather, a wide range of cars as well. You're not just doing, the cheapest.
That's right, yeah. So it's literally, we'll work with all of the lease companies across the UK and can therefore access all electric cars that have got leases available. So as opposed to kind of traditional lease companies who might have their own stock of car and one price list, which means sometimes you can get the car you want at the price you want, sometimes they haven't got the car you want, sometimes the price is 30% more expensive than maybe the cheapest player in the market. We work with all of them, and that creates a real advantage for people looking to switch to electric.
So Thom, as anyone who works on Fully Charged will tell you, I'm not that good with numbers, tend to get them a bit mixed up. So can you remind me how salary sacrifice works and why it's so beneficial with electric vehicles?
Yeah, sure. So it can get a little bit tricky because tax is involved, but in simple terms, when you get paid your salary and you get your monthly paycheck, you'll see your gross salary, then income tax and national insurance taken out of that gross salary, and what is the remainder you get into your bank account as your net pay. What the Electric Car Scheme allows you to do is pay for the car, not out of your net pay, after taxes are taken out, but out of your gross pay, which lowers your tax bill, lowers your national insurance bill, and means you're left with more money in your bank account at the end of the month. Instead, you pay a very small benefit in kind tax because you are getting the car as a benefit from your employer, but that's much, much less than the tax you would have paid otherwise. Right. And that's how it's possible to achieve these savings. So maybe I'll give you a couple of examples to talk through. You could get the new Tesla Model Y on a 4-year lease. That would typically cost you £654 a month if you were to get it yourself. Through the Electric Car Scheme, you'd save £283 a month on income tax and national insurance. Instead, you pay a £51 a month benefit in kind tax. That means the net cost to you is only £422 a month, so significantly cheaper. You might be able to get a VW e-up on a 4-year lease, which normally would have cost you £245 a month. You'd save through the Electric Car Scheme £106 a month in tax and national insurance contributions. Instead, you pay £22 a month benefit in kind tax, so the net cost to you is really only £161 per month. The Kia e-Niro 2, if you were to get that on a 4-year lease yourself, that might cost you about £408 a month. Through the Electric Car Scheme, you'd save £176 a month on your income tax and national insurance. Instead, you pay a £33 a month benefit in kind tax, so net cost to you would only be £265 a month, significant saving.
Wow, that is a really big difference. And I mean, the Kia Niro is a really good car. Our crew use one, they love it. Yeah. Amazing.
And if you wanted to kind of have a look for yourself, because everyone's tax rate's different, everyone wants a different car, have a look on our website, electriccarscheme.com, and calculate your savings, and it will work out exactly how much you could save by using the scheme.
So there are other car leasing companies working in this space. So what makes the Electric Car Scheme different? What makes you stand apart?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is that we're independent from any leasing company, and that allows us to do two things really well. First of all, we can work with any leasing company and any car provider in the market. That means at the moment, with the car shortage, we can access pockets of cars all around the UK, have better availability. You wouldn't be waiting quite as long. Secondly, every lease company has got a different price for every car. Well, you get the same new car at the end of it. So we can go to the leasing company that for that specific car has the best price, which saves you on average an extra 10% or £3,000 across the life of the lease. And then the last thing is our employer support is second to none. So we offer the best risk protection to employers offering the electric car scheme as a benefit, and offer them really expert advice on things like tax, HMRC guidance. That just makes it much easier for a small and medium business to say yes to offering the scheme to their employees.
So then who is eligible to enter the scheme?
So it's really any employee and business in the UK that wants to offer this as an employee benefit. So we work with employees from any size, so anything as low as 2 employees all the way beyond 1,000. And there's no cost for the employer of setting up the scheme. There are typically 2 restrictions we see employers say on entering the scheme. One is they might only offer it to people after they've passed their probationary period, because they're signing up for a benefit for a long time. And secondly, obviously after sacrificing their salary for the car, someone can't drop below minimum wage because it would fall foul of minimum wage rules. So that's the one exception that you have to keep in mind.
And then in terms of employees, what are the benefits to them? I mean, I can sort of see this.
Yeah, the biggest one is obviously the tax savings and making it more affordable to choose to go electric and get yourself to net zero. The other one is we make it as easy as possible. So we bundle in things like car insurance, maintenance, the charging point and installation, and that makes it much easier. And then the last thing is just protection in case the car needs to be returned early. So you don't have to worry about what happens if you go on maternity leave, what happens if you fall ill, what happens if I go to another employer. We support on all of those things for employees.
So with car leasing generally, the terms are like 3, 4 or 5 years. So what are the arrangements with the electric car scheme?
Yeah, we offer leases anywhere between 1 and 4 years. And what we find is most of our customers go for a 3-year lease, mainly balancing the cost. Shorter leases tend to be a little bit more expensive per month. And obviously the fact that they don't know if they're going to be with the same employer 4 years from now. So yeah, 2 to 3 years is fairly common. But as I said, 1 to 4 years is possible.
So clearly you've made getting your first EV a much simpler, and cheaper process. But then once you've got it, what about charging it? So I take my new electric car home, and I'm looking for a plug socket on the wall of the house, and there isn't one. As
I explained, we try and make it as easy and simple as possible for our customers. So when you order the car and you lock in your tax benefits, you also have the option to include a charge point and home installation to make sure you've got charging at home. You can include car insurance, you can include servicing and maintenance of the car as well, just to effectively bundle it all together and make it really easy for you to make that switch. And then we also find typically with employers is once a number of their employees have got these electric cars, they'll also install charging units at the office to make it easy for those who haven't got off-street parking or might need to drive further into the office and charge it at work. So we can also help with that.
So if there's a company boss or an employee at a big company or a small company watching this, what's their next step? Where do they go to find out more?
Yeah, so the easiest place to go is our website, electriccarscheme.com, where you can do 2 things. You can calculate your savings, so based on the car you want, your tax rate, how much might this work out for you? And you can also set up a call with one of our team to talk through, how do I go about setting up the scheme for my office? How do I roll it out to employees? And how do we get as much uptake as possible? And our friendly team are on hand to help anyone keen to sign up to the scheme. Our mission really is to make it as affordable, as simple as possible. And the journey starts on electriccarscheme.com.
So thanks so much, Tom, for your time today, and really good luck with the scheme. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Great stuff. And all the links to the electric car scheme are in the show notes, electriccarscheme.com. Not that hard to work it out. And that's all we've got for this episode. Please do join us again. And as always, if you have been, thank you for watching.